لأجلك يا ربي نسعى بلا توان وتحلو طريق الخطر نسير وننشر نور الهدى ونقفو تعاليم خير.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: ثلاثة لا ترد دعوتهم، الصائم حتى يفطر، والإمام العادل، ودعوة المظلوم يرفعها الله فوق الغمام ويفتح لها أبواب السماء، ويقول الرب: وعزتي لأنصرنك ولو بعد حين. أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. This hadith read by Imam Tirmidhi rahimahullah, and basically in this hadith Rasulullah is telling us, and this is also hadith Qudsi because it contains some of the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here the Prophet says that there are three types of people whose dua is not rejected. ثلاثة لا ترد دعوتهم. Three types of people whose dua is not rejected. Number one, الصائم حتى يفطر, a person who is fasting until they break their fast. So a person, while we're in the state of fasting throughout the day, beginning from now, our dua is accepted. Any du'as that we are making, inshallah, they are accepted. Number two, al-imam al-adil, a just ruler. And number three, وَدَعْوَةُ الْمَظْلُومِ, and the da'wah, the dua of al-mazlum, someone who has been unjustly treated. Sometimes injustice has been done to that person. يَرْفَعُهَا اللَّهُ فَوْقَ الْغَمَامِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes that dua, those dua of these three people, and it raises through the heavens. It goes through the clouds, through the heavens, with no barrier, going up to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up the doors of the heavens for this. It goes up to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَقُولُ الرَّبِّ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَعِزَّتِي لَأَنْصُرَنِّكِ وَلَوْ بَعْدَ حِينٍ, that I swear by my honor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying by His honor, He swears that I will help you, I will give you I'll answer you this dua, even if it might be after a while. So we look at the power of dua, that a person who makes dua and the dua is accepted, that dua raises up to the heavens and goes to the arsh of Ar-Rahman, goes to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises that He will answer that person's dua. So one of the things we know that the ulama say there's three ways of dua being accepted. One is that the person gets whatever they're asking for, they get it here in this life. The second one is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes some difficulty or some bala, some test, fitna in this world because of result of that dua. And the third is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala postpones that dua for the Day of Judgment. And the ulama say that a person who sees the results of their dua on the Day of Judgment, they will wish that they never had any dua except in this world. Actually, in one of the hadith it comes that they will wish when the sabirun, the ones who had sabr, when they see that the reward of their sabr on the Day of Judgment, they'll wish that they were cut up into pieces by scissors. And one of the things the ulama say about scissors is different than like a saw or something else. It takes longer to cut, it's harder to cut with the scissor. So imagine the pain that a person can go through by being cut up by scissors. The person will wish that they were cut up by scissors on the Day of Judgment. So we know dua, we make dua every day. And there's different ways of making dua, different ways of getting duas accepted, different timings of duas. And one of those timings we're in right now, in the month of Ramadan, where duas are accepted. And now, inshallah, from tonight we'll be entering into the last 10 nights of Ramadan. And this is especially when the time dua is accepted. And like the picture someone shared yesterday about the dua, the Laylatul Qadr, catching the Laylatul Qadr. Just imagine in 1 minute, I think it was 2 months, about 2 months of worship. Okay, 1 hour is like 9+ years of worship. Okay, So just imagine if we get that night, how much reward we can get. How many du'as will be accepted, inshallah. How many du'as will be postponed for us for the Day of Judgment. And how many difficulties and trials and tribulations will be removed from our path because of the du'as that we make during these 3 nights. One of the things also is that making israr with du'a, meaning that we should continuously make du'a and be consistent in it. If we make it over and over, that's one of the things that we can do is, like, for example, make a du'a list. Don't make it too long, because then you keep on reading around. But if you make 4 or 5 main points that you want, and just keep on making that du'a over and over, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept that du'a. Also, we have to be careful of our income and the way, our clothes, our income, and everything about us needs to be halal. For example, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he's explaining a person traveling through the desert, and you can imagine he's on foot going through the desert. His hair is disheveled. He has dust covering his body. He's in this state of, basically he's in the state that he needs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he calls out, he puts his hands out to Allah. He says, Ya Rabb, Ya Rabb. Oh Allah, I need your help. But his dua is not accepted. And the Prophet ﷺ says, why is that? It's because the person's libas is haram, their income is haram, their food is haram. So, فَأَنَّا يَسْتَجَابَ لَهُ. How can that person's dua be accepted if that person is in this kind of state? And I'll end with 2 stories really quick, inshallah. Du'as being accepted. So, for example, 2 ways of getting your du'as accepted. So, one of the stories mentioned about Kalimullah Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, that he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one day, Ya Allah, who is my companion in Jannah? Who's my rafiq in Jannah? And he was told to go to a certain butcher shop, and he was shown this person. So this person was not some, he was just a normal person from the town. So Musa alayhi salatu wasalam wondered, what is so special about this person? So he asked him, and that person did not know who Musa alayhi salam was. So Musa alayhi salam says to him, can I join you? I'm traveling. Can I join you for today? And the people back then, they were open, their doors were open, they would bring in guests. They were not like now today. So he says that basically, come with me. At the end of his day, when he's closing up his shop, he takes a small piece, some small bag with some pieces of meat, leftover meat. And this butcher takes Musa alayhi salam to his home. He goes home. He has Musa alayhi salam sit down on one side of his room, and he starts to cook. After he cooks, he goes, one of the narrations, he goes to one of his cupboards, and there's a basket. He picks it up, and there's a small, frail woman inside, an old woman inside this basket. He takes her out. He takes the food. He feeds her himself. Feeds her, and as he's feeding her, her lips are moving. She's making dua. So the Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, after he's finished, he asks him, who are you, and who is this woman, and what's the story? He wants to know more about his companion in Jannah. And this person says, I'm just a regular butcher, but this is my mother. And he says that I come home and I feed her every day. He says, what does she say? What does she say to you? Say when you're feeding her? He says, oh, she's just an old woman, du'as of mothers. She says, may you be the rafiq, the companion of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam in Jannah. So this is one of the things, that obedience to parents makes our du'as accepted, especially when the parents make du'a for us, our du'as will be accepted. And one more, inshallah, before we end. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, there's a famous story that Imam Ahmad rahimahullah went traveling one day. He had something to take care of in another town. So he's going to this town, and no one knows who he is. So he goes to this town. They didn't have Facebook, they didn't have these kind of things, YouTube videos and that kind of stuff. So no one knows who what Imam Ahmad rahimahullah is. This famous scholar goes there, he's by himself, and after he gets his work done, he goes to the local masjid. He's like, it's late, I can't travel back now, so let me just stay the night, and inshallah I'll leave in the morning, I'll depart in the morning. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah goes to the masjid, and that masjid that he goes to, one of the workers in the masjid, or the one who takes care and guards the masjid, he's basically cleaning the masjid, and he tells him, sorry, you can't stay here. We close our doors at this time, so you need to go outside. So when Imam Ahmad rahimahullah goes to the entrance of the door, he stands there and he's just, sitting, chilling over there, thinking, what am I going to do? I'm going to just stay here the night, in the morning I'll leave. And this man, when he's exiting and locking the door, he sees Imam Ahmad, and he says to him, I told you, get out of here, what are you doing? And he says, no, I'm just sitting at the door, I'm outside the masjid. He says, no, get out of here. He picks him up and he kind of pushes him out to the street. And nearby there's a baker watching this, seeing all this. So he comes over to Imam Ahmad, not knowing who he is. He says, why don't you come over? I see that you're a traveler, I don't know you. So if you need a place to stay, you can just come into my shop. I'm going to be working all night, so you can come and rest over here. So Imam Ahmad rahimahullah goes to his shop, and he notices this man as he's getting the bread ready, or the cheesecake or whatever he was making at that time. He's getting it ready, and as he's doing that, he's doing istighfar constantly. He's doing dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constantly. So Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, he says to him, how long have you been doing this, like this habit of doing dhikr like this? He said, I've been doing this for years. He said, did you find any benefit of this? What did you find from doing this? He says that I found that my du'as are mustajab. My du'as are all accepted. Every time I make a dua, it gets accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except for one dua. And Imam Ahmad says, what is that dua? He says, I wish that I could meet Imam Ahmad. And Imam Ahmad says to him, right, he's like, subhanallah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took me from that masjid, dragged me out to the street and brought me to your doorstep because of this dua. I'm Imam Ahmad. So this is one of the things that we can do, is especially during these last 10 nights. وَبِالْأَسْحَارِ هُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing Surah Baqarah, the muttaqeen, those who are pious, those who are God-fearing, that in the time of ashar, the time of suhoor, they're doing istighfar. So inshallah we try to do this, inshallah, and our du'as will be accepted. These last 10 nights, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our ibadah, accept our du'as, inshallah, and make us from those of Jannah, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursaleen, walhamdulillah.